Hello and welcome to the AWS Summit Online ASEAN 2023. My name is Miraj and I am a prototyping architect based in Singapore. In this session, I will talk about how you can improve your customer retention using AWS AI ML services and extract valuable insights that help your business to re-engage with your customers and improve their experience. I will kick off this session by talking about the prototyping program and how we help our customers to accelerate innovation. I'll then speak at a very high level about the problem that we try to solve with this specific prototype, before handing it over to Quang, that will give additional context about the problem and share more about VNG. Towards the second part of the session, I will share to you the technical approach and what AWS services we used to tackle this challenging problem. Let me start by introducing you the AWS prototyping program. The AWS prototyping program helps to contextualize complex uses of the AWS platform by building working prototypes of specific customer use cases, leveraging existing data, devices, and systems. But what is a prototype in the first place? As opposed to demos or POCs, the prototypes aren't meant to validate the maturity of a specific technology. They rather take into consideration the business context and use technology to deliver a working solution on a subset of use cases based on the requirements. The prototypes we build are not production-ready solutions, but rather enablement tools that demonstrate the art of the possible and help customers to evaluate the use of AWS services. They are typically constrained in scope and time. We deliver them in a time frame that varies from 4 to 6 weeks, after which the customer can use what we have built and extend it in order to move to a pilot or a full production solution. As you can see from the picture as well, user retention changes drastically in just 1 week, with a single-digit retention rate after only 30 days. After all, who hasn't installed an app to delete it after only 10 minutes? In this specific use case, we work together with VNG to automatically detect churning users and re-engage with them in more meaningful ways. But before going too much into the details, let me hand it over to Quang, who can give you a better idea of what VNG does and explain the problem in more details.
Thank you, Miraj. Let's start with some background on VNG. VNG is Vietnam's first tech unicorn. We started in 2004 as an online game publisher, publishing the first and most famous RPG game in Vietnam back then. Now, VNG has grown into a tech company with a large ecosystem of products, from game development to communication and media with Zalo, fintech with Zalo Pay, and cloud computing services. Even with multiple businesses, our core expertise is still game development and publishing. And like in every business, we are striving to bring the most value to our customers. In gaming, it means how to introduce the most suitable game for each customer and bring the best experience to them. Today, we are operating close to 60 games in Vietnam and in Asia, across multiple genres like MMORPG, casual and hyper-casual, shooting, strategy, and so on. We also have millions of people playing our games every day, and each one of them has different needs and objectives when playing. Some play for fun, some are hardcore gamers who want the best gaming experiences. Therefore, the question becomes how to introduce the right product to the right customer in order to bring them the best experience. The traditional way was to run multiple advertisement campaigns on various channels. But with the rising cost of online marketing, we need to be smart in our approach. That's where we engaged with AWS to make use of machine learning and AI to help us in our user targeting. First, we set out to use machine learning models to analyze our user behaviors and identify those who may start to lose interest in a game. Next, we retarget them to other games that may be more suitable to their profile through direct messaging in the app. We can also analyze the pool of users and run very targeted ad campaigns with specific materials for a specific user profile. This helps us to save cost, maximize our returns, but most importantly, we believe we can target the right users with the right message and ultimately bring more positive experience to them. And the result is promising. We ran some A/B testing with different scenarios and realized we could reduce the CPI by up to 50%, while more than doubling the return on ad spend and significantly improve the retention rate as we got the right players for the right games. VNG launches several games every quarter. If we were to do this task manually, it would create a huge stress in our resources. That's why we need to make use of our data and automation to develop a scalable solution. With a prototype in place, for the next steps, we will continue to improve our machine learning models, automate the whole process even further, and scale it up to accommodate for the users and games that we have. Miraj can explain the tech more in detail. Back to you, Miraj.
Thanks a lot, Quang, for sharing that with us. Now that we have a better idea of the problem, let me walk you through the details of how we use the AWS services to solve it. We generally start by tackling the core of the problem first, to make sure that the prototype addresses the business constraint. Once we are able to demonstrate the success, we rapidly iterate and automate the proposed solution so that it will be easy to repeat the same experiments, perhaps on different games. We generally build AI/ML pipelines that help to automatically extract, transform, and load data into data catalogs so that it's easier to use it for training purposes. The model and the automation around it is really just one part of the solution. We know that the success lies on having a compelling user experience, so making sure that we are able to re-engage successfully with the customers is important as well. As such, on the second part of this prototype, we built a multi-channel marketing communication platform to send personalized marketing content to the end user. Creating ML models require continuous experimentation and rapid prototyping to be successful. In order to create highly accurate models, customers typically experiment with feature engineering, model selection, and optimization techniques. These processes can be time-consuming and require data science expertise. Amazon SageMaker opens up ML to more people through low-code and no-code tools, making it easier to experiment faster and bring highly accurate model to production more efficiently. Amazon SageMaker offers low-code tools for each step of the ML lifecycle, so data science practitioners can prepare data, build, train, and deploy high-quality models faster without writing repetitive, low-level code for common tasks. For customers who prefer no-code tools, such as business analysts, Amazon SageMaker Canvas offers a no-code interface to generate ML predictions. You can create ML models in minutes without any experience using an interactive visual interface and point-and-click tools. The prototype we built used Amazon SageMaker Canvas and Amazon SageMaker Autopilot to create the first iteration of the model. And eventually, we also added a custom deep learning model to improve performances and accuracy even further. As you can see from the screenshot as well, without requiring the experience of a data scientist and just by doing simple data transformation, we were able to obtain high accuracy using no-code tools in just a few days. It is easy to get started with low-code, no-code tools in Amazon SageMaker, such as SageMaker Data Wrangler and SageMaker Autopilot. Just bring your tabular data or choose data from an AWS data source or third-party provider, such as Snowflake or Databricks. And SageMaker will create a model for you in just a few minutes. All data and models generated through low-code, no-code tools are available in SageMaker Studio, so data scientists can dive deep and offer suggestions to improve the model. You can also use SageMaker Jumpstart, an ML lab which includes pre-built ML solutions that you can deploy with just a few clicks. In the next section, I will go deeper on how we use the collection of AWS services to automate the model training and inference. I will show a few high-level architectural diagrams to give you an idea of how individual services are integrated with each other. Bear in mind that these are simplified versions of the final architecture, so some components are purposely left out for simplicity. The prototype provides a simple web UI as well that helps to quickly spawn up ML pipelines for new games and automatically import user segments to Amazon Pinpoint based on the inference results. The process starts with in-game interaction data that is already available in an Amazon S3 bucket. When the user triggers the training flow from the web UI, an AWS Glue crawler collects the data and creates a data catalog that is utilized by subsequent AWS Glue job to transform the data before running an Amazon SageMaker training job that saves the resulting model in a specific S3 bucket. To automate the orchestration between the components, we used Amazon Event Bridge that allow us to create rules that match specific event patterns coming from AWS Glue or other AWS services, and potentially even custom events defined by your applications. The event is sent to a configured target in case matches the pattern defined for a rule. Targets can use native integration with many AWS services, such as SQS, Step Functions, or AWS Lambda. Each rule can have up to 5 different targets, and you can define retry configuration at that letter queue to make your architecture more resilient. This architecture is easily extensible. Additional targets can be added ad hoc in future iterations to create additional features by just leveraging the event-driven architecture provided with the prototype. After we train the model, it can be used to perform the inference that will help to detect churning users based on the in-game interaction data. The inference is triggered by a scheduler defined in Amazon Event Bridge with a configurable frequency. The scheduler rule triggers an AWS Lambda function that is responsible for validating the input data and starting an AWS Glue job that transforms the new in-game interaction data before starting the inference process upon successful execution of the job. Like for the training, we leverage Amazon Event Bridge to start the next part of the flow after the asynchronous ETL job is completed successfully. To perform a batch inference, we utilize Amazon SageMaker transform job that allow us to process inference results for a large data set. The results of the job that include the users that are likely to churn are ultimately stored in an Amazon S3 bucket. We'll see in the next section how the data stored in this bucket is used. The architecture includes additional components, such as Amazon CloudFront to serve the static website content, Amazon Cognito to secure the Amazon API gateway endpoints and provide access to the web UI only to authorized users. There are additional AWS Lambda functions that are executed as part of the Event Bridge event targets, which are responsible for storing the state of the application into a collection of DynamoDB tables that are used as source for the web UI that you see on this slide. Operators can easily create new pipelines for other games and trigger training and inference flow as well as visualize results in the web UI. Now that it's clear how model training and inference work, in this section we explore how we can take actions on the users that are likely to churn as resulted from the inference job output. Amazon Pinpoint is the backbone of the functionalities provided by this component of the prototype. Amazon Pinpoint is a flexible and scalable outbound and inbound multi-channel communication service. You can connect with customers over channels like email, SMS, push, voice, or even build your own channel. Amazon Pinpoint is easy to set up, easy to use, and is flexible for various communication scenarios. Segment your campaign audience for the right customer and personalize your messages with the right content. Delivery and campaign metrics in Amazon Pinpoint measure the success of your communications. Amazon Pinpoint can grow with you and scale globally to billions of messages per day across channels. In this slide, you can see a simplified version of the architecture that powers the multi-channel communication experience. As displayed in the left-hand side, it all starts with the inference data that has been generated by the inference flow that you have seen in the previous slide. Whenever we run a new inference flow and a file is generated in the relative bucket, an AWS Glue job is triggered. The Glue job is responsible for merging together the inference data with the user data, which contain information to target the user. For example, the email address. The ETL job is also responsible for transforming the data into a format that is suitable for Amazon Pinpoint, and then import a new user segment which can be used by the marketing team to run campaigns on. Amazon Pinpoint natively supports channels such as email and push notification. While to run campaigns on Facebook ads, a custom channel has been built using AWS Lambda to provide seamless integration and reduce manual inputs. From Amazon Pinpoint, new dynamic segments can be created based on the static segments that are imported by the AWS Glue job. The segment data includes, together with Amazon Pinpoint's mandatory fields, additional metadata that can be used to filter the users to the ones that are of interest for the specific campaign that we want to run. User segments can also be used as part of an Amazon Pinpoint journey, where we can elaborate a user flow that engages the users with different channels based on their interactions. On the right-hand side of this slide, you can see an example of a user journey that sends promotion via email, and if a user never clicks on the email, we'll send a push notification after some time. This funnel strategy could be helpful to reduce marketing costs associated with channels that are generally more expensive, for example, SMS, by starting your journey with the relatively cheap one and engage with other channels only if the user has not interacted previously. Another important aspect is the seamless integration with Facebook ads. During the prototype, we built a custom Facebook channel in Amazon Pinpoint using an AWS Lambda function that leveraged the Facebook APIs to create the required Facebook campaigns and ads with the target audience identified from the segment. This helps the marketing team to have a draft blueprint each time the campaign with the Facebook channel is run. Ultimately, the only required action is to finalize the ad from the Facebook UI, for example, by updating the look and feel, and then publish it. Now that all components are put together, the last remaining part was to test the user experience. While I'm talking about this aspect at the end of this presentation, as Kwang mentioned earlier, this was actually the first aspect that we took into consideration while building the prototype. It was crucial to have personalized ads experience that would improve the click rate and reduce associated marketing costs that derive from large, unoptimized target audiences. With the prototype, which was extended by VNG to cover multiple games, VNG is now able to target customers efficiently, reduce marketing costs, improve user engagement, and ultimately provide a better customer experience. If you'd be one of the end users, this is what you will see. Personalized ads that target your specific gaming profile with relevant content and games that are likely suitable to your interest and preference. On this slide, I've added some additional resources that you might find useful. Explore the AWS AI services and the AI ML solution library to know more use cases around personalization, recommendation, and ML ops. Explore AWS for Games features with new and existing purpose-built services, solutions, and capabilities from AWS and AWS partners. With AWS for Games, you can build the future of gameplay faster with the breadth and depth of the AWS services and solutions, run games smarter on infrastructure that increase productivity and efficiency, grow your player base, and extend their LTV with analytics and machine learning. Build with a trusted cloud partner and broadest community of support and solutions. Thank you so much for watching until now. I hope you enjoyed this session. Please take a minute to complete the session feedback.